The Palestine Solidarity Campaign and numerous other organizations are marching along the Sea Point promenade out in Cape Town this afternoon. This to highlight, among others, the killings of journalists that have worked for international broadcaster Al Jazeera while on assignment in Gaza. Well, this as the conflict in the Middle Eastern country continues unabated despite growing worldwide condemnation. The Palestine Solidarity Campaign has been actively protesting the South African government to sever all ties with the Israeli government. And SABC News reporter Mariska Buerta is at that particular march.
We're coming to you from Mully Point in Cape Town, right on the promenade that leads all the way up to Sea Point. Now, this is a very popular gathering spot for all of Cape Town, where people come for strolls and to enjoy the scenery. Behind my colleague Clinton Surf, who's behind the camera, is the ocean. So it's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful spot in Cape Town that is extremely popular. But do not let the beauty deceive you, because we're here for a very serious issue today. Today, the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, in collaboration with other organizations, will be conducting a march from here to Camera Right to the Sea Point side of the promenade. To speak to us now about this and the meaning of it, we're speaking to Yusuf Chikta, who is the convener of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign. Mr. Chikta, thank you very much for your time. Why are you marching today? What is the message?
Israel is writing the worst history in humankind with the killing and the genocide of what is taking place there. But that's one part of the story. They're also killing the truth. They're also killing the message, and they're also killing the messengers. What they've done of last week is to kill Anas al-Sharif, who stayed in a makeshift camp tent outside Al-Shifa Hospital, bombed several times. But it's not only the bombing. They've killed a journalist and 5 others, and they're trying to do this as they've done this as they are invading Gaza and occupying Gaza militarily yet again, and they want to cover up, and they don't want this to be exposed, this genocide to be exposed, and so they think by killing the messengers, by killing the journalists, the story won't be told. And Anas al-Sharif, in his last will and testament, called upon the world to tell the story of Gaza, of the genocide of Palestine. And here we hear journalists, more than 30 civil society organizations led by the journalists, united against apartheid, and we are going to tell the story of what is happening. We refuse to remain silent. We refuse for the story to disappear. The saddest thing is that Israel not only kills the journalists, but besmirches and smears their name. They demonize the journalists telling the story, and they heroize and they sanitize the perpetrators from the Israeli Wehrmacht who have killed the journalists. So that is what, and that is the count, and this the whole issue is being re-echoed by the mainstream media, who tell the Israeli part of the story, who disregard and discount the Palestinian part of the story, who erase the message and who erase the narrative of the Palestinians and the genocide. And we're here to expose that. But and it's not only in Israel. This is a threat. It's not only in Palestine that this is happening. This is a threat to our journalists here as well. It's with sadness and anger that we've witnessed how South African journalists are being bribed, their palms greased, and they're taken to Israel on travel junkets, and they are saying to them, report and cheerlead the genocide, cheerlead the apartheid, cheerlead the Holocaust. Now, this is in direct contravention of the code of ethics of journalists. They not only do that, but the journalists failed to identify the sources of their funding. Now, this is corruption. We hold journalists dear. We are the heirs of Ruth First, who was killed, Henry Kumalo from Drum, who was killed. We are in the tradition of Helen Keyes, who bravely was the editor of the journal, educational journal in South Africa. And this is a betrayal of what we fought for. This is a betrayal of freedom of expression. And they have contravened the code of ethics of the South African Press Council, and we're here to hold them to account. Not only them to account, but we want all the Israelis who killed the journalists for them to be taken to the International Criminal Court. And so as we defend the right of journalists to expose what is taking place and our right to know, as declared in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the international law, and in the South African Constitution, which protects freedom of speech and for journalists not to be bribed and corrupted to articulate a genocidal narrative. And what is it that we want, Marisa? We want the ceasefire. We want a ceasefire. We want them to stop killing journalists. Over 270 journalists have been killed, slaughtered deliberately. Journalism is not a crime. The crime is the genocide, and we must hold those people to account.